Happy Easter, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. The three-man weave best bet show here live from beautiful Stadium Swim. It is a sunny day. It is not a warm day,
brisk.
I would say.
It's brisk, Jimmy.
A little brisk.
Brisk.
We got some steam coming off the hot springs that qualify as the Stadium Swim pools. But we are happy to be out here. Holy crap, Pat in the chat. My goodness.
Patrick.
Alrighty, love
Thanks,
to see
Pat.
that. Great start to the show. Yeah, it's Sunday. We've got an earlier tip today because the NCAA is giving us earlier tips in the hoops. But I'm Jim Root, your host, joined by Kai McHugh and Matt Cox. Fellas, we watched games yesterday. Let's quick get into some takeaways before we start to analyze the ACC showdown and the Maui rematch. Kai, go to you first. What did you see out there yesterday?
We talking Illinois UConn first?
Whatever jumps to mind for you.
I tell you what, Illinois hung tough for the first half. They got down 9-0. It was like, oh no, UConn's blowing them out. This was a horrible bet. Tied it up 23-23. Okay, we're feeling pretty good about the bet. And then it was 53-23. That's right, a 30-0 run by UConn. Holy moly. Illinois insisted on challenging Donovan Clingan as much as possible, and didn't really work out for them, Jimmy.
Yeah, how'd they do when Donovan Clingan was the primary defender?
0 for 19, Illinois shot against Clingan as the primary defender. Insane.
What is the more damning number there, Matt? 0 or
the number
19?
of attempts. No.
Why are you going at him so consistently? I know they wanted a second foul, but it made no sense in the moment. The in-game interview where Underwood was like, if he blocks 100, he blocks 100, was just like the most stubborn, hit your head against the wall kind of thing. Like, why? Stop doing that.
It was very Daddy Brad, stubborn, kind of like true to his form, like, we're not going to back down. And it's like, you know what, Brad, maybe back down. You
can go at that team without backing down.
Flank the defense in a different I don't know. Anyways,
it felt a little like Cronin-esque.
Yeah, right. Like, this is my very headstrong. Very headstrong. This UConn team gives me UK 2012 vibes. Anthony Davis, Donovan Clingan, like just the most dominant player. Isn't dominating by scoring. He's dominating defensively and just owning the rim. I mean, just for context, I'm looking at the updated Circa. Shout out to our fine sponsor, Circa Sports, by the way. Sees best damn sports park, period. Alabama is in the Final Four, so they have to win 2 games to win the title. They are 17-1 to win the title.
Yeah, they're like plus 600 to win a Final Four game.
And there's a reason why money has been already bet on UConn up to -12 here at Circa. Just ridiculous. Yeah, it's just that kind of team.
I tweeted last night. I took 10.5. Matt, sharp. Why bet against UConn right now?
Me and Kai are going to bet Bama, aren't we, Kai?
I'm ready to get hurt again.
Roll damn
Sickos
tide,
right
baby.
God, absolutely. Why would you do that to yourselves? 30-0. Just remember, they had a 30-0 run in an Elite 8 game against a top 10 Ken Pound team. Illinois kind of folded up there. You could clearly tell not being able to get easy baskets shook their confidence.
Yeah.
Like they're rushing 3-pointers after that. They just kind of got the yips. Quincy Guerrier. Not my favorite player.
Not great.
Not my favorite player.
Not great.
All right, the other game. Clemson, Alabama. You mentioned it, Maddie. Alabama is playing or at the Final Four. Back there for the first time in a long time. I don't think first time ever. But Nate Oates got them there. Not even his best team.
I think it's their first ever.
First ever? Okay.
I think so.
Very clearly not his best team at Alabama. I don't think even he would debate that. But they got enough bites at the apple. That was the phrase I used last night. Just be good enough every year. And somebody was like, well, yeah, they got lucky and had an easier path. I'm like, that's the point of bites at the apple. That's the point of being good enough every year. Sometimes the path will open up. You won't get screwed over by terrible free throw shooting like they did against UCLA in 2021. Sometimes that's just what it takes.
Yeah, I mean, Bama's just, I think, more complete than we gave them credit. Everyone, threw daggers at their defense, and it's been good enough.
Wow. I mean, did you see Oates' postgame?
What did he say?
He was like, wow, we're finally kind of defending.
Right,
he
always
threw him under the bus.
He's been making fun of his defense all year. I mean, he's as harsh as anyone on their own defense. But, those bigs, I mean, Stevenson and Pringle, they were on the glass pretty heavy. They're not physical and, ground, but they're flying around. They're getting kind of the dirty work, extra bonus offensive rebounds, and that's all they really need to do. Now against UConn, I don't know.
I did not realize that was a top 25 offensive rebounding rate team. I didn't click for me until they were racking them up, and I looked and was like, wow, yeah, they're just.
I guess
good
it's
at that.
easier to get them when you're shooting so many threes. So you get some longer rebounds.
Yes,
but that's part of the strategy against UConn that try to project here is you're not getting anything at the rim. So their 3 and rim just needs to be 3-3-3-3-3. And then your O boards have to be long rebounds, just kind of guards finding open creases to get some of those possessions back that you're going to lose on the defensive end against Klingon on the glass.
Over under 40.5 3-point attempts for Alabama.
I hope it's over.
Ooh, I'll go over on that one, Jim.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of 3-point, yes, the regression monster finally hit Clemson. After they, what was the stat? 14 for 75 the first 3 games in the tournament. Team shooting against Clemson.
And 2 of those teams were top 25 nationally in 3-point percentage.
Absolute outliers. Alabama starts 1 for 12 from 3. And then they finished 16 for 36. So 15 for 24 after starting 1 for 12 from 3. Yeah, that's the regression monster. And Alabama can shoot it. And we said yesterday, if Clemson allows those looks, Alabama is going to hit them. Will it be the same for Duke today? We'll talk about it soon. But, yes, the regression monster hit. The better team won, in my opinion. Clemson played great. Clemson's a great team. I'm glad Alabama won. I'm excited for Alabama-UConn. It's going to be an awesome game.
It did not feel to me like Alabama was getting significantly better looks than Arizona or Baylor. Mark Sears hit a couple step backs. Jaron Stevenson, a 29% three-point shooter, hit 5. That's the kind of regression stuff that I think was owed Clemson. But props to them, man. They hung around. That was the most fun half maybe in the entire tournament, the second half of that game.
I found myself
104-point half.
I found myself thinking, you know what? Clemson's in my Final Four, and it is our Final Four. I'd be okay with it. I wouldn't be as upset as I would have been like a week ago. I was like, this team is fun enough
I'd
for
be
me.
upset. I'm glad we got Bama.
Now I'm glad we got Bama, but still, I think the PJ Hall thing was
PJ
like,
Hall. Fouled out again.
I could get down with
out
PJ
every
Hall.
game.
Yeah.
Sorry, PJ.
Couple of tougher calls for him yesterday. I will give him a little benefit of the doubt there. But, Alabama moves on. We've got a double-digit spread in the Final Four for the first time since Gonzaga-UCLA in 2021. We know how that turned out. UCLA right down to the wire. Before that, I think it's like early 2000s.
1999 Duke versus Michigan State, Jimbo. A data sample size of four games. Every time there's been a favorite of more of 11 points or higher, the dog has covered. Now, I think this UConn team
sample size.
UConn team might be #built different, but we'll see. Just something.
That's where I lean. But again, we will have a best bets show from Phoenix for you next weekend, so we won't get all the way into the weeds there. Instead, we will talk the games today, Sunday, March 31st, Easter. I still love Easter, baby. Tennessee, Purdue, a Maui rematch. Kai, the first game was a foul fest. 51 combined fouls, 78 free throws.
Too many.
Purdue took 48 free throws in that game. Disgusting. Even Zach Edey got into a little bit of foul trouble. Eat your hearts out, Purdue haters. We know you'll love that. Fletcher.
Huge game.
Shouts to Foster, that. What he's up to.
Yeah. My doppelganger had a monster game, Kai. Basically saved Purdue in that one. How are you looking at today's matchup? Does it play out similarly to that game or not?
Up-tempo game one, but inefficient. So not really what we expect between these two teams. Good offenses. Edey, he's the key, obviously. Purdue plays through him. He did have 4 fouls against Tennessee. He also had 23 and 10. Tennessee could not stop him inside. Usually a defense that gets stops inside the arc and allows the 3. You can't stop Edey at all. And guess what? If Tennessee still allows 3, Purdue, best 3-point percentage in the country, I think they're going to make him pay. I like Purdue here at -3.5. Fun fact, it's the exact same spread we saw in Maui, close 3.5. We're going to see Duke, NC State with a little bit different lines today in the second game. But I think Purdue wins this game, Matt. My worry a little bit, Tennessee's offense, it's all off-ball movement. It's off screens. It's cutting. Purdue, not great defending those actions this season. However, they have the get-out-of-jail-free card. Zach Edey in the middle. Verticality. Usually plays great defense. The 4 fouls against Tennessee, probably his highest total of the entire season. I'm not sure he's fouled out in a game this year.
Tennessee mid-range floaters connect coming off like curls. I think it's actually a decent matchup for Tennessee to score if they can make shots.
They're going back-to-back drop coverage. They just
played Creighton. Now they're playing a kind of replica of the same defensive front. They're not going to pressure you. They let you do what you want to do. They just don't give you anything easy, right? They don't make any mistakes. So Tennessee will get what they want. They just got to convert, and they did against Creighton. I think they do today as well. I actually like Purdue, though. The over is where I'm really going with this. I think there's points galore in this game. And, again, this is not the region of scoring death, a.k.a. the Dallas bouncy ball rims and bouncy ball balls. I have the under the Duke game, not to get time. But I think there's an over lean for me in this game pretty heavy. I like the under the next one. But I think Tennessee has avenues to points, Jim. And then I've been throwing shade at Kai's boy, Braden Smith. The chin strap disgusting thing is just, that's got to go. But he's played really well. I think he's going to have an easy time coming off those screens, getting some mid-rangers, the dumps to Edey, the kicks. And Lance Jones, always X factor. I think today especially against the athletic guards and wings of Tennessee.
Yeah, Jones has felt like kind of a big game riser pretty much all year. He will take a very, very tough seems like out of the gate, start second half. I think I've seen Purdue guys tweet about this. He takes a 3 to start the second half, typically hits it, and it sets the tone for how the game goes from there. Braden Smith did not play well in the first matchup between these two. Only 1 assist.
Matt's boy.
Didn't get many shots off in that game. Really, besides Lawyer, Purdue took 5 threes. Only 5 3-point attempts outside of Lawyer. That seems like a solid defensive strategy from Tennessee. Try to limit the attempts from those guys. Because, again, Kai mentioned it, number 1 3-point shooting team in the entire country by percentage. I am torn on both sides in total here. I bet Gonzaga minus 3.5 back in Maui. I bet Purdue minus 3.5 back in Maui. Crossing up all these Maui teams. We'll probably do the same here, but I have not wagered on the game yet. I don't really have a player prop take. Maybe connect over 21.5 again, Kai, but this one I am leaning towards sitting out, and I saw a couple people in the chat saying they just want to enjoy it as well.
Yeah, Zach Edey, 24 is his point total player prop. Yeah, and we know he will not get a foul call in all games, so he will be on the court for 36 minutes.
So
good angle.
Purdue's not super unlike Creighton defensively. They don't really force turnovers. They have the big guy in the paint to stop the rim. Tennessee does love the mid-range. Connect can hit from mid-range, so I don't mind a Connect overplay on his points, much like we did against Creighton. I will be taking Purdue in this game, minus 3.5. It will be my best bet. I also lean towards the over. I mentioned the first game. It was up-tempo, 74 possessions. Now, it was earlier in the season when possession count is higher. However,
and the fouling, too,
and the fouling definitely contributed to that. However, I think Tennessee, if they want to win this game, it would behoove them to run and get out in transition. Purdue not necessarily going to do it. They can. They can thrive there. But we know they're going to default to Edey post-ups in the half court, milk the clock, run their motion offense. I think Tennessee wants to run, though. I wouldn't be surprised if the scoring got up.
Yeah, the pace is the one thing I can't figure out with this one. It does feel like there's efficiency. We talked about Tennessee against the drop defense, and Purdue's offense is rolling right now. Yeah. I know Tennessee has played them already, but I think the short turnaround against a team like Purdue and UConn that runs so many sets and has so many kind of like alternatives to that, it's just so hard to prepare for with only 36 hours, basically.
Yeah.
I'm just going to sit this one out. My closing question to you guys is, and maybe this is a hot take, Purdue is better. They are justifiably a favorite.
Yes.
I think Tennessee has a better route to giving UConn a great game because I just don't think you can be one-dimensional against UConn the way Purdue sort of is with playing through Edey. Is that crazy, Matt?
We were talking to Matt Humans, Kai Veason, host last night, watching the games. He said he agrees. Tennessee, the best matchup for UConn. I just think Purdue with the Edey factor is that's just so different. You have to at least, that's the best.
The ultimate equalizer?
Yeah.
I think Purdue's a better matchup for UConn.
Yeah, just because Edey.
He neutralizes Klingon.
Right.
But does it work the other way?
I don't think so. Okay, yeah. I think Edey's the best player in the country.
How quickly is Klingon in foul trouble in that game?
Exactly,
No, we know the refs are not calling fouls on big, which is fine. We want to see the best players play. So I'm fine with the keeping the whistle swallowed.
Backcourt, I know we're talking championship now all of a sudden, but UConn backcourt clearly more dynamic than Purdue's backcourt.
Yeah.
That would be the matchup advantage.
Sorry, I shoved us into that tangent there. No best bets from that game?
No, Purdue, 3.5, best bet.
Purdue, 3.5.
I'm with Kai. I'm going Purdue.
Okay, couple of Boilermaker boys after fading them last round with these zigzags, so they have righted their tune. All right, the nightcap, really the afternoon game out here in Vegas. NC State versus Duke, the ACC rematch. Matt, I had a really hard time looking at the prior matchups between these two. They've played twice in the last month-ish.
Yep.
And basically no player on either team had 2 good games. It was like every guy had 1 good game, 1 bad game. Kind of worked that way for the teams. Duke absolutely whomped NC State on the road.
Yep.
And then controlled the neutral site game in the ACC tournament. Right now we're looking at a spread of Duke -7 here at Circa. What are your thoughts on this ACC
rematch?
So
that was kind of the last dud we'd seen Duke lay. Duke's been great since. Now, we can talk about how lucky they got getting Houston without Ched, but still, Duke's played very well since that dud. NC State, that's what kind of catapulted them into this run. That game closed -11. This one is -7. We've heard people kind of talk about how that's, from a technical price handicapping, this spread's probably too low, but I mean, NC State has been shattering spreads all the way to this point.
Yeah,
save the Oakland game, which they probably shouldn't have covered.
Just to add to that, the Duke at NC State game that Duke won was Duke minus 6.5 on the road.
On the road, right.
And now it's 7 neutral.
And I like that Shire has 2 games to look in his back pocket of how to defend DJ Burns. I know Jordan Majewski talked about 2 different ways. They didn't really double him. They just kind of had some digs. But I like that Duke's at least seen Burns, right? Burns isn't going to like wow them with like the, his unorthodoxy of whatever. So I'm just trusting Duke the way they're playing right now, especially how physical they've proven they can be on the glass. And then Tyrese Proctor is a lockdown defender, and they will need him to shut down Horn. Make the others of the pack beat you if you're Duke, right?
Yeah.
You got to defend Burns, obviously, but Horn's the killer on the outside. Like, make Marcel make tough shots. He made him last game. I'd roll the dice again and make him and the others make tough shots.
Yeah, so to Jim's point, Burns crushed the first matchup. Duke won. Duke won by 15. Burns, 27 points. However, Duke crushed the offensive glass. 51%, 0 boards. Second game, they won the glass battle, too. I think they win the glass battle again in this game. Yeah, do you believe in NC State that the line... Look, the line technically is wrong. I mean, NC State has risen from 76 to 49 in KenPom. 27 spots since the Duke loss.
Yeah.
Can a team change that much in that short amount of time?
I think, real quick, sorry, had the Marquette shot thing been like normal, like had they actually like beaten Marquette with conviction and everyone not be talking about how Marquette missed every shot, I think I could believe the line change.
But the Marquette team did not shoot very well in that
so
game.
it feels very fluky. The line change feels very fluky.
Now, having said that, I'm going to be on NC State. I'm going to take...
What?
I'm going to take 7 here. Yeah, I don't agree. Look, technically the line should be higher, but there is something to current form. NC State, the way they're playing, they are getting lucky with shooting variance. However, they're playing well also. DJ Burns has been great. The guard play has been amazing. We've talked about it. They don't make mistakes. They don't turn the ball over. Duke forced 9 and 10 turnovers in the 2 games. That's not a ton. Duke usually a great defense that can force turnovers. You can't really do that against NC State. I do think Filipowski has a big game. I do think Duke has size to throw at Burns. The second matchup, he was significantly less effective, despite NC State winning. And Duke, Jim, like Marquette, theoretically they can kill NC State in the pick and roll. Marquette just didn't do it.
Yeah, I kind of think Marquette did. They just didn't convert on the opportunities.
Yeah, sure.
You got to execute too. You can play a game on paper and in process, but you actually have to execute the results. We talked about the shooting against Clemson, 14 of 75 from 3 through 3 games. Against NC State, it's 23 for 97. That is 23.7% from 3. Chiefly Texas Tech 7 of 31, Marquette 4 of 31. The only time someone shot competently, Oakland 12 of 35, like a normal game, not a lights out game. Right. A 14 seed pushed this.
Yeah, Golke was actually off in that game late. Like he missed his last 6 shots.
NC State got a game from a team that shot competently. I mean, does that happen today? I don't know. I think Duke can generate quality shots with their guards, but in that loss in the ACC tournament, those 3 guards combined to go 7 for 28. So it's no guarantee, and you've only got 3 of them. You don't have that Caleb Foster bullet in the chamber off the bench where you can get a little spark. I don't think Jalen Blakes is providing that. Sorry, Duke fans. So you need Proctor, you need McCain, you need Roach, at least 2 of those guys to have a good game. Duke did beat NC State up in the paint last game. Filipowski and Mitchell combined for 46. Kai mentioned 8 on the offensive glass. Yes. I think they can do the same thing in this one, despite DR's best efforts on the boards. My best bet, though, is the under. Matthew?
I second that best bet, and I have a second best bet that correlates with the under.
Load it up. All right, I'll give my justification real quick first. Duke is playing slow right now. I saw KenPom say on Twitter that the Duke-Houston second half was the second slowest second half of the entire season. Any game that any 2 teams, I know a lot of that was Houston having no shot creation, kind of wanting to shorten the game because they didn't have Shed. But Duke was a willing participant in that. They have been playing slow lately, too. Russ, a big Duke fan, also in the chat right now, talked about how the last time a Duke team played this slow was when John Shire was a player in 2010. It is a Shire connect-the-dots, straight line kind of thing. I think they're going to play a little more slowly here. The shooting thing maybe shows up to under 142.5, best bet here at Circa, but you can find 143 out there if you look around.
I love the under. The Shire thing that's the best point. It hit me like last game is like watching that Duke run with Shire at point guard when they had leads in that deep run. It was always let's control, run a set, take time, and like when Duke, assuming Duke has a lead in this game, which again, no guarantee, but they are favored by a touchdown. So if they have a 2, 3 possession, 4 possession, it will be a long, methodical clock. The APL data backs it up. They've played way slow, but NC State too also playing much slower to accommodate DJ Burnsy, keep him on the floor, keep him rested, make sure they get him touched in the post. And they've also leaned into some of their big guys as well, right? We talked about your boy Mo Diarra getting some more minutes. So I think, and they've not been pressing as much either. So a lot sets up for the under. And the final bow on top of this is the balls are inflated to like about to burst at the seams. The rims, I have to cover my ears when the bricks are thrown up there. Like Marquette, I'm sorry, Marquette fans, just a tough venue draw. I think that continues unless the noise has been so loud that admin guys at the building are making rim tweaks or ball deflation. We'll see. If anyone's live on the ground,
overcompensation?
We like to have some intel there. But yeah, maybe who knows? We'll see.
I will say, if the shooting variance is a big topic here, Duke is a top 15 team in 3-point percentage. It would be highly unlikely to get another dud of a game unless, to Matt's point, the balls and the rims really are so pumped up and tight that shots just don't fall. I expect Duke to shoot better. I'm giving all these Duke points. I'm still going to take NC State. Just more of a gut. The 7, the way this team is playing.
Feel it in your plumes.
Trust the plumes. Hey, plumes always win. Plumes always win.
To Graham's question in the chat, it's like the shooting variance is part of the game. Would you rather play a 7-game series? No, I agree. It's part of what makes the tournament awesome. However, it's fair to point it out, and I think when people try to weaponize the ACC wins here as facts that the ACC is the best conference in America and that Pitt and Syracuse should be in the tournament, it's just not true. These are 1-game sample sizes. If you played 7 games, that would bear out pretty clearly.
Just remember the Pac-12 in 2021 when they had like half the Elite Eight, including Oregon State, and the shooting numbers against them were absurd. Like teams made like 20% of their threes against every Pac-12 team. And the next year, everyone's like, oh, man, the Pac-12 was way better than we thought. And then they sucked and got 2 teams in. Like, we don't have to immediately take things away from a 1-game single elimination tournament. I love it. I would never change it. Do not want 7 games.
Don't expand.
But you have to be able to contextualize some results, take what's predictive from certain games. And people can disagree about what is predictive. But to me, some of that shooting stuff is less predictive and not indicative of NC State playing great games going forward. Side split again. I have been kind of not great on sides this tournament, but I will ride with the under there.
Under player prop, DJ Horn under 15.5 here at Circa, the best damn sportsbook period.
The Tyrese Proctor blanket.
The Proctor glove, coupled with the pace. Again, I just found my best point I haven't made in the show. I'll make it right now. The first game that these two played on March 4th, before the tournament game, the game that Duke won, Duke average possession length 22 seconds. That's like Air Force Virginia slow. Yeah. That game was 59 total possessions. John Shires, we just talked about, is looking at that blueprint to get back in the winner's circle against that team that they beat. I think that's the recipe. They play it slow. They execute their stuff. They corral Burns. They stay home on the shooters. They don't oversight. They don't over-double Burns or attack Burns. They keep him in check, but they stay home on the shooters, and they play the 2-versus-3 game, I think.
I think you're very right about when they get ahead, they slow it down. Because, Matt, if you have the numbers when they played Pitt on the road, they got up big, made a bunch of threes, and that game just turned into a crawl. Duke was like, we're just going to take the entire shot clock every single time, and then it's like hard to come back when you don't get that many possessions.
So Maddie's best bet point, the prop point, DJ Horn, 13 points per game this year against Duke. Matt, okay. He scored 18. He scored 8. He's been their go-to guy in the backcourt, obviously, besides Burns as a whole. I lean towards your way as well, Matt.
Yep, and hey, maybe you get some Sean Stewart mixed in there. Russ is saying let DJ Burns get his 2s. Yeah, don't let Filipowski get in foul trouble, but you just kind of got to force him to make the tough ones. That was generally Alabama's strategy against Clemson last night. It's like, we're going to let you score one-on-one in the post, get 6 dribbles without sending help, and I think over the length of the game, it played out for Alabama's favor. Fellas, let's do a quick best bets recap. I think we've gotten all our thoughts out on each game. Kai, starting with you.
Purdue -3.5, Boiler up. The Big Ten narrative, no more. Purdue makes the Final Four. I can't wait.
Purdue -3.5. I am reluctantly with my colleague Kai. I am large on the Duke under, and I did take Duke on the side as well. Not going to put it as a best bet, though, because I can't get 7.5, but I was sharp and got 6.5. I do lean toward Duke.
Okay. Well, you can get 7 for your
wait, it's back to 7 now. Yeah, I'll take 7. All right, that's 3 for me. Duke minus 7.
There you go. Matt's got 4 best bets.
Don't worry, I have NC State.
And my
so
player prop as well. Yeah,
we can't lose. So I have NC State. We can't lose.
That's
I like that. And there's no juice, right? So it's good. It cancels out.
Yeah.
And then my player prop, DJ Horn under. Go.
Okay. I'm not going to take the Tennessee one to cancel out these guys. We are a Boilermaker organization today. My only best bet, Jimmy Unders is back. Duke, NC State under 142.5. Couldn't find a player pop. I liked Sears and Connect the last couple days, so we'll just stick to that one. Fellas, that wraps it up. That wraps it up for us here at Circa. We have to thank them again for being such wonderful hosts. Folks, if you have not been out to Las Vegas and even visited Circa, much less stayed at, it is amazing. The hotel rooms are wonderful.
They're outstanding.
The pool is elite. The sportsbook is elite. It's just been a treat to be out here. So we appreciate Circa. We appreciate Stadium Swim hosting us. That wraps it up. We'll see you in Phoenix. Enjoy the games on Sunday, and happy Easter.